Welcome to the Power Zone. Before we begin, I want you to do something powerful, like this video right now, and comment your own original motivational quote below. Don't just repeat someone else's words, create your own wisdom, because every word you type shapes your future mindset. Your comment could inspire someone who is on the edge of giving up, so write it now before you continue. Now, let us begin. When most people think about positivity, they imagine smiles, happy thoughts, or maybe some cheesy advice about ignoring the problems of life. But here's the truth. Positivity is far more dangerous, far more powerful, and far more strategic than most people realize. It is not just an emotional state. It is a weapon of influence, a hidden tool of dark psychology, and the foundation of success strategies used by the greatest leaders in history. Negativity may win arguments, but positivity wins wars, careers, and destinies. To understand this, let us dive deep into the hidden psychology of positivity. Human beings are driven by fear, desire, and the need for certainty. Negativity feeds fear. It paralyzes people. It keeps them small. It convinces them to accept less than they deserve. But positivity taps into desire, into possibility, into hope. A person who carries true positivity becomes magnetic. Suddenly, others trust them, follow them, listen to them. They don't even need to demand authority. People willingly give it to them because positivity creates a psychological illusion of safety and strength. And this is where the power begins. Think about the leaders who rose from ashes, whether it was Abraham Lincoln, who faced endless defeats before becoming one of the greatest presidents, or Nelson Mandela, who spent decades in prison yet emerged as a symbol of unity, or entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, who were pushed out of their own companies only to come back and change the world. What was their secret? It wasn't luck. It wasn't money. It wasn't intelligence alone. It was the ability to maintain and project positivity in the darkest of circumstances. Here's where the dark psychology comes in, because positivity is not only about yourself, it's about how others perceive you. When you stay calm and confident in chaos, others believe you know the way. When you smile in the storm, others assume you have control of the boat. And slowly, they hand over their power to you. That's influence. That's leadership. That's the weapon hidden inside positivity. Now, most people let negativity dominate them because negativity feels more real. The human brain has a natural bias called the negativity bias. Evolution wired us to focus more on threats than opportunities because avoiding danger was once a matter of survival. That is why criticism hurts more than praise feels good, and why a single bad day can erase the memory of 10 good ones. But the successful, the extraordinary, the unstoppable, they reprogram this bias. They use positivity not as blind optimism, but as conscious strategy. They tell themselves, every failure is data, every rejection is redirection, every setback is fuel. This doesn't just make them feel better, it changes how their brains process reality. Neuroscience proves this. Positive thoughts release dopamine and serotonin, which expand your capacity for problem solving. Negativity shuts down the brain into survival mode. Positivity unlocks creativity and resilience. So when we say the power of positivity, understand, this is not soft talk, this is science, this is psychology, this is a battlefield tactic, and those who master it dominate. But let's go deeper. Imagine two entrepreneurs walk into a room of investors. One is nervous, doubtful, and focused on what could go wrong. The other is positive, confident, and focused on the opportunity. Even if their business ideas are equal, who do you think gets the funding? Exactly, the one radiating positivity, because positivity creates certainty in uncertain minds. People are not just buying your idea, they are buying your energy, your belief, your conviction. That's why positivity multiplies influence. But here's the dangerous twist. Manipulators know this too. They use fake positivity as a mask to hide lies, to gain trust, to manipulate others. That is why you must sharpen your ability to recognize authentic positivity from artificial charm. Authentic positivity is tested in pain. It is the person who still holds their vision when the world burns. Fake positivity collapses when challenged because it is just a performance. For you, the listener of the Power Zone, the challenge is this. Will you train yourself to become authentically positive, not just when life is easy, but when it is hard? Will you use positivity as a shield against the world's negativity and as a sword to cut through doubt and fear? Because if you do, you will become unstoppable. The masses are enslaved by negativity. They complain, they gossip, they surrender to fear. But the few who master positivity, they rise above the masses. They attract opportunities others can't see. They dominate in business, in relationships, in every arena of life. This is the hidden psychology of positivity. It is not about smiling more. It is about gaining control of your mind, your emotions, and the emotions of others. And once you gain that control, the world bends to your will. Before we close this first section, remember that positivity is not weakness, it is strategy. It is not pretending problems don't exist. It is deciding that you are bigger than your problems. It is not ignoring pain. It is transforming pain into power. And if you commit to this mindset, you will see your life begin to shift in ways that others will call luck. But you will know it was your design. So once again, before we move to the next section, I want you to pause and write down your own original motivational quote in the comments. Don't wait, don't overthink. Just type the first words of power that come to your mind, because your words matter. Someone out there is scrolling right now, looking for a reason to keep going. And your comment could be that reason. Do it now, because positivity grows only when it is shared. This is the power zone. And we've just uncovered the hidden psychology of positivity. But the hidden psychology of positivity is only the beginning, because there is an even deeper layer most people never realize. Positivity is not just a mental choice. It is an energy field you carry with you everywhere you go. Think about it. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt tension, even before anyone said a word? Or have you ever met someone whose presence immediately lifted you, made you feel lighter, safer, more alive? That is energy, not coincidence. Every human being is radiating an invisible field, and that field is shaped by their dominant emotional state. Negativity collapses the field, making people heavy, bitter, and repulsive. Positivity expands the field, making people magnetic, trusted, and admired. This is why when you master positivity, you don't just change your own life, you change the entire atmosphere around you. Science confirms this. The Heart Math Institute found that your heart produces the strongest electromagnetic field in your body, and that emotions literally alter its frequency. Gratitude, joy, and positivity create coherent, stable rhythms, while anger and fear produce chaos. In other words, when you are positive, you are broadcasting harmony. When you are negative, you are broadcasting disorder. And the world responds to that frequency, whether you realize it or not. People sense it, even unconsciously. They can't explain why they like you, why they trust you, why they want to follow you, but it is your field pulling them in. This is why leaders, visionaries, and influencers throughout history seemed larger than life. Their energy field was expanded through positivity, and others could feel it. But here's the dark psychology twist. Most people are slaves to their environment, letting negativity poison their field daily. They scroll through fear-filled news, gossip with bitter people, drown in complaints, and then wonder why their life feels stuck. The truth is simple. You can't broadcast poison and expect blessings. If you want to expand your energy field, you must guard it, feed it, and train it. Positivity must become your natural state, not your temporary performance. And the more consistently you radiate positivity, the more magnetic your life becomes. Opportunities find you. People want to support you. Even enemies hesitate to attack you, because your energy feels bigger than their hate. This is the power of positivity as an energy field, and those who master it walk through life as if the universe itself is bending in their favor. But even though positivity can expand your energy field and magnetize opportunities, there is one brutal reality we cannot ignore. Most people never reach that state because they are trapped, chained, and strangled by the grip of negativity. This grip is so powerful that it destroys dreams before they are even born. It whispers inside your head with a voice that feels like your own, telling you, "You're not good enough. You'll fail. Don't even try." And because it sounds like you believe it. This is the dark psychology of negativity. It doesn't need to scream at you from the outside. It infiltrates you from the inside. Society, culture, and media plant seeds of fear and doubt into your mind, and soon you become your own prison guard. Every time you want to take a step forward, negativity pulls you back with invisible chains. But here is the truth. Negativity is not reality. It is conditioning. Your brain is wired with a negativity bias, designed by evolution to keep you alert to threats. But in the modern world, that same bias keeps you small, cautious, hesitant, and stuck. Negativity makes you focus on the one rejection instead of the 9 opportunities, the one failure instead of the countless lessons, the one insult instead of the 100 compliments. It blinds you to the full picture of reality, and until you break free, your energy field collapses under its weight. So how do you break the grip? First, by exposure. You must shine a light on the lies negativity whispers. Most people try to ignore their negative thoughts, hoping they'll go away, but that only makes them stronger. Instead, you must confront them, dissect them, and expose them for what they are. false alarms, outdated fears, parasites feeding on your energy. When the thought says, "You're not capable," ask, "Where is the proof?" When the thought says, "You'll never succeed," respond, "Then why am I still standing, still breathing, still fighting?" Negativity hates being questioned because it has no foundation. It only survives in the shadows of unawareness. Second, you must replace. Breaking negativity's grip isn't about emptying your mind. It's about filling it with stronger fuel. Every time you notice a negative loop, replace it with a positive command. Not fake, fluffy affirmations, but grounded reprogramming. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'll learn how to do this." Instead of, "I'm unlucky," say, "I'm creating my own luck." This is not pretending. It's training your brain to see solutions instead of problems. Remember, positivity expands awareness. Negativity narrows it. The more you train your focus, the stronger your energy field becomes, until negativity no longer dictates your actions. Third, you must act. Negativity thrives in stillness. The longer you hesitate, the louder it becomes. But action, any action, destroys its grip. Every step forward proves to your brain that fear was lying. Every small victory rewires your nervous system. The great mistake most people make is waiting to feel positive before they act. But action comes first. Positivity follows. You don't wait to feel confident before speaking. You speak, and then confidence grows. You don't wait to feel courageous before moving. You move, and courage builds. This is how warriors of the mind break negativity's chains. They act in spite of it, and in doing so, they weaken it. But let's not pretend this battle is easy. Negativity doesn't vanish in a day. It is embedded in your environment. Friends who complain, family who doubt, media that sells fear. If you want freedom, you must be ruthless about protecting your mental space. Cut out the voices that drain you, starve the thoughts that poison you, and feed only what empowers you. Some will call you selfish, but understand, protecting your energy is not selfish, it is survival. Because if you let negativity infect you, you will have nothing left to give to the world. The grip of negativity is strongest in the silence of the night, when you lie awake replaying mistakes, doubting your worth, predicting disasters. That is when you must be most alert. That is when you must rise. Write down your vision. Flood your mind with gratitude. Remind yourself that no matter how loud negativity screams, it cannot stop a person who refuses to listen. Remember this, negativity is not a wall, it is a fog. It looks solid from a distance, but the moment you walk into it, you realize there is nothing there. Every step through it reveals more clarity, more strength, more opportunity, but you must be brave enough to walk. So, my friend, as we close this section, remember, negativity only has the power you give. The moment you reclaim that power, its grip weakens. The moment you decide, "I am bigger than my doubts, stronger than my fears, greater than my failures," you shatter the illusion. And once you break free, positivity flows like a river, expanding your energy, magnetizing opportunities, and propelling you toward success. The masses will stay trapped, chained by negativity, but not you. You are here in the power zone, and that means you are chosen to rise above. Write your own motivational quote in the comments right now. Make it a declaration of war against negativity. But once you have broken negativity's grip, once you have silenced the chains of doubt and fear, you step into a new territory, the battlefield of influence. Because positivity, when mastered, is not just for yourself. It becomes a weapon, a tool, a force that shapes the minds and actions of those around. Understand this. Human beings are social creatures. We are constantly influenced by the energy, the tone, and the state of those near us. That is why one negative person can poison an entire room, but one positive leader can transform an entire movement. Influence is not about control, it is about projection. And the strongest projection wins. Think about the leaders who changed history, not with armies, not with money, but with words, with presence, with unshakable positivity. Martin Luther King Jr. stood in front of a divided nation and spoke of a dream, not a nightmare. His positivity was not naive, it was strategic. It gave people a vision to believe in, something bigger than fear. Winston Churchill, during the darkest days of World War II, when bombs rained over London, didn't tell his people, "We are doomed." He said, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight in the fields, we shall never surrender." That is positivity as a weapon. It armed people with courage. Nelson Mandela walked out of 27 years of prison and chose forgiveness over revenge. That choice of positivity influenced an entire nation to reconcile instead of collapse into civil war. Now let's bring it closer to you. In your workplace, in your business, in your relationships, who holds the influence? It is rarely the smartest person, rarely the richest person, rarely even the most experienced person. It is the one who carries unshakable positive energy because people unconsciously crave certainty and hope. When you radiate positivity, you signal strength. When you stay calm in chaos, you signal leadership. And when you believe in possibilities others can't see, you become the magnet that pulls them forward. This is why positivity is not weakness. It is power. It is the invisible weapon of influence. But here's the dark psychology behind it. People are not rational. They are emotional. They don't follow facts. They follow feelings. You can give someone the perfect logic, the perfect data, the perfect evidence. But if they feel doubt in your energy, they will not follow you. On the other hand, you can make mistakes, stumble, even lack certain resources. But if your positivity radiates certainty, they will still trust you because human beings are wired to follow confidence. This is why salesmen, politicians, and leaders train themselves to project positivity even when the odds are against them. They understand that influence is not about perfection, it is about energy transfer. So how do you sharpen positivity into a weapon of influence? First, by mastering your own state. You cannot influence others if you cannot influence yourself. Before you enter a room, before you lead a team, before you speak your vision, you must align your own energy. People will feel your doubt if you carry it. They will feel your fear if you hide it. The only way to project true positivity is to live it, breathe it, embody it. Second, by framing challenges as opportunities. Influencers know that people are always watching how they respond to setbacks. When you say, "This is impossible," you infect others with defeat. When you say, "This is difficult, but we will find a way," you infect others with hope. The words you choose are weapons. Every sentence is either cutting people down or lifting them up. Third, by persistence. Influence is not built in one speech, one gesture, or one moment. It is built by consistency, showing up again and again with the same energy, until people start to believe not just in your words, but in your presence. Now let's talk about charisma, one of the most misunderstood forces of human psychology. Most think charisma is about looks, charm, or personality, but true charisma is simply the projection of positivity with certainty. When you speak with conviction, when your body radiates confidence, when your eyes show belief, people cannot resist you. They want to be near you. They want to follow you. They want to trust you. And this can be used for good or for manipulation. History shows both. That is why it is critical that your positivity be authentic, grounded in truth, and used for growth, not exploitation. Remember this, people do not follow negativity. They may obey it for a while out of fear, but their loyalty dies the moment fear weakens. But people follow positivity for life because it feeds their spirit. That is why great leaders outlive their own bodies. Their words, their vision, their positivity echo across generations. Influence is not about control. It is about legacy. So ask yourself right now, are you a source of light in your circle or are you a source of darkness? When people leave your presence, do they feel heavier or lighter? Do they feel drained or do they feel strong? This is the measure of your influence. If your positivity strengthens others, they will remember you, follow you, and elevate. But if your negativity weakens them, they will eventually escape you, even if they stay silent for a while. The weapon of positivity is sharper than any sword, more powerful than any law, more enduring than any army. It conquers minds, melts resistance, and builds movements. That is why mastering positivity is not just about personal happiness. It is about leadership, persuasion, and power. And you, by being here, are not just learning to live better. You are training to lead, to influence, to leave a mark. Before we move to the next section, I want you to remember your role in this journey. Right now, scroll down and write your original motivational quote in the comments. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because your words will not only affirm your own growth, they will influence someone else. Imagine a stranger stumbling upon your comment at 3 a.m., broken, lost, and ready to quit. Your words could be the spark that changes their story. That is influence. That is legacy. That is the weapon of positivity. This is the Power Zone, and you have just discovered how positivity transforms from mindset to magnet, from shield to sword, from survival tool to weapon of influence. But if positivity is such a powerful weapon of influence, if it can move nations, build leaders, and transform lives, then why do so many people mistrust it? Why do we sometimes roll our eyes when someone tells us to just be positive? Because hidden behind the light of positivity is a shadow that few dare to confront, the dark side of positivity. And if you want to truly master this force, you must understand both its light and its darkness. Let's be clear, positivity is not always pure. It can be faked, it can be manipulated, and it can even become toxic. History is full of charismatic figures who used positivity as a mask. They spoke of hope, of unity, of a brighter future. But beneath the surface, they carried lies, greed, or hunger for power. Their positivity was a performance, not a principle. And because people are wired to follow positive energy, millions can be misled, manipulated, and even destroyed. This is why you must never confuse charisma with authenticity or confidence with truth. The dark side of positivity appears when it is used not to lift others, but to control them. There is another danger, the trap of toxic optimism. This happens when positivity denies reality instead of transforming it. Imagine a person drowning, and instead of helping them, someone says, "Don't worry, just think positive." That is not empowerment. That is ignorance. Real positivity is not about ignoring problems. It is about facing them with strength. But toxic positivity tells people to suppress their pain, hide their struggles, and pretend everything is fine. It silences the truth, and in doing so, it makes the wounds deeper. Many people suffering with depression, anxiety, or trauma have been harmed by this kind of false positivity. Instead of being heard, they are told to smile. Instead of being helped, they are told to get over it. This is not power. It is cruelty disguised as motivation. That is why the power zone will never tell you to deny your reality. We teach you to confront it, to master it, to bend it, but never to pretend it does not exist. The dark side of positivity also appears in business and relationships, when people use charm to hide exploitation. How many times have you seen someone smile in your face, promise you the world, radiate positivity, only to betray you the moment you trust them? That's because positivity without integrity is just a mask. And the stronger the mask, the deeper the deception. This is why you must sharpen not only your ability to radiate positivity, but also your ability to detect whether someone else's positivity is authentic or fake. Ask yourself, does this person's positivity hold when things get hard? Do they stand in truth when challenged, or do they collapse and reveal bitterness beneath the surface? True positivity is tested under pressure. Fake positivity melts in the fire. But let us go even deeper into the psychology. Why are humans so vulnerable to fake positivity? Because we are wired to seek relief from pain. When life gets heavy, when fear surrounds us, we crave hope like a drowning man craves air. And anyone who offers that hope, even falsely, can capture our trust. That is why politicians, cult leaders, and manipulators often succeed. They weaponize our hunger for positivity. They promise quick fixes, easy solutions, and magical outcomes. And people follow, blinded by the glow of hope. Only later do they realize that what looked like light was actually fire, burning them from within. This is the shadow side of human psychology. Our desire for positivity can make us weak if we do not balance it with awareness. So how do we protect ourselves from this dark side? By practicing what I call authentic positivity. Authentic positivity does not deny pain, it transforms it. It does not promise quick fixes, it demands discipline. It does not manipulate others, it empowers them. The way to test authenticity is simple. Does the positivity lead to growth, or does it lead to dependency? Fake positivity makes you dependent on the person giving it. Real positivity makes you independent, strong, and capable of standing on your own. Fake positivity avoids difficult conversations. Real positivity speaks truth, even when it hurts, because only truth can set you free. Fake positivity collapses when life gets tough. Real positivity becomes stronger in the storm. Here's another dark twist. You can become addicted to positivity. Yes, addicted. Some people chase motivational videos, speeches, and quotes, but never take action. They get a high from the feeling of positivity, but they do nothing with it. This addiction creates a cycle of temporary inspiration followed by long-term stagnation. That is the silent poison of false motivation. It makes you feel like you're growing when you're actually standing still. The cure is simple. Positivity must be paired with discipline. Every burst of energy you get from positivity must translate into action. Otherwise, it is wasted. Remember, positivity without execution is just daydreaming. The final danger of positivity's dark side is arrogance. When some people discover the power of positivity, they start looking down on others who are struggling. They say, if I can be positive, why can't you? They forget that everyone fights different battles, everyone carries different scars, and everyone moves at a different pace. True positivity never judges, it uplifts. It never shames, it inspires. If your positivity makes you arrogant, you are not positive. You are poisoned by your own ego. So why am I telling you all this? Because if you want to truly master positivity, you cannot just embrace its light. You must understand its shadow. You must know how others might use it against you, how you might misuse it yourself, and how to stay balanced in the middle. Only then can you wield positivity as a true force of growth, not as a mask, not as a manipulation, not as a drug. As we close this section, I want you to remember, positivity is not pretending. Positivity is power, but only when it is rooted in truth. Be wary of smiles without substance, promises without proof, charm without character. Be wary of your own temptation to escape reality with shallow positivity. And above all, choose authenticity, because authentic positivity never fades. It grows stronger with time, it survives the storm, and it leaves a legacy that cannot be erased. Now, pause for a moment and take action. Scroll down and write your original motivational quote in the comments. Not a copy, not a cliche, your own truth. Let it come from your scars, your struggles, your fight, because real positivity is born from real battles. And your words, raw and authentic, could be the light that cuts through someone else's darkness. Do it now, because this is not just about watching a video, it is about creating a movement. This is the Power Zone, and you have just seen the dark side of positivity revealed.